This is my latest custom bind. This is the Daredevil Frank Miller run. Quite a chunky custom bind. It's got the Man Without Fear and the 3 collected trade paperbacks inside. A little bit about the cover. I did have some trouble with the cover, and I designed it to be red, obviously for Daredevil, but and it was red on my computer, red as a PDF, and as soon as I got it into Gmail to send to Spink and Thackray, Gmail turned it brown. And when I downloaded it from Gmail back onto my computer, it would be red again. But Spink and Thackray were also seeing it in brown. So I had to try and suss that out, and I did it in the end by just making sure everything was in CMYK. So the picture, fantastic Bill Sinkovich, had to get Bill on the cover. I just love his work. That was taken into Photoshop, converted to CMYK from RGB. The Illustrator file was made sure that the document setup, color setup, was CMYK. Made sure that the color palette within Illustrator was CMYK, and then exported it out of Illustrator using, I've got CS6, so it's not the latest version, it's the last version before they started the really annoying subscription method where you pay every month, but CS6 was the last version where you just paid once and you own it forever. So it came out as a PDFX 2008. I'm not quite sure what that is. PDFX is a certified PDF, and that worked. Basically that worked, and it got to Spink and Thackray fine, as you can see. This feels like, it does feel like the first proper custom bind I've done. I did a couple of tests and I've learned a bit on the first couple, but this one I think was it's the first one I've really wanted to get done. And I also prepped the books myself, and it's amazing how easily a hairdryer takes covers off trade paperbacks. I mean, you're really not going to want to read out in the sun ever again. It literally, I think it's about 4 swipes on hot, and the cover just comes off. Anyway, this is the contents page. I have started to print these off myself now, rather than get Spink and Thackray to print them off. One, I'm just controlling them a bit more, controlling the colour, and 2, it just saves a couple of quid. So I know you could argue that the Man Without Fear was brought out after everything and should be at the bottom here, but the Man Without Fear is really a sort of a Batman Year 1 book, so I've put it in first. I've also added these black divider pages, and I get about 100 of these pages on Amazon for about 6 quid. And this was a matte paper, and again I got about, I think about 80 gram, about 100 sheets on Amazon, again only for about £10, very cheap. So then we're into the Man Without Fear. And as you can see, he's just a lad in this, and which is why I felt it should go at the beginning. And he meets Stick, who we see later. And then I'll just cut to here. So this is the end of the Man Without Fear, and then I've got these black dividers dividing every single trade paperback, the 3 volumes, and then you get straight into volume 1. such an amazing story. I think there's a scene. I think there's a scene in Daredevil where Captain America turns up, and Frank Miller says, you know, Daredevil says he has a voice that could command a guard, and then it says, and he does, and Thor turns up, and it's just one of those amazing moments in just comic reading. Absolutely brilliant story. Yeah, Daredevil, Elektra, Frank Miller at his best with Marvel, I think. Yeah, really pleased.